Hey, what's going on, everybody? So, it's Fizz here. We just wanted to talk about a video real quick. Well, I did. And it's going to be about semen retention and why I practice it. Now, before we get into a couple things, I just want to go right into it. I'm going to tell you the truth about it. Disclaimer, pretty much. But before we even get to that, I'm just going to say real quick, that being said, if I went through some things, so you got to understand that too. And it's not all about lust, obviously, because I want to have a connection with someone anyway. That being said, I will fuck whoever I wanted to fuck at the end of the day, if I wanted to have sex. Now, that being said, I'm not having sex right now at this period of time, and I'm not masturbating. Pretty much, or you can say AKA semen retention, Nofap. There's so many names. Now, like, that being said, doesn't mean I won't have sex. Let's not get that twisted. I'm not going to get into all that other stuff. But anywho, what we're talking about right now is what happens when, especially for guys, it's different for guys, but we can say we're talking about men and women because it does work for both of them. Just women can basically orgasm more and have more pleasure per se. Now, I'm not going to dive too deep into that either, but when we talk about guys, particularly me, why I do it, because it does build your energy subtly, especially if you're low on energy, basically. Not saying that you should be low on energy or anything, but something else happens too when you do not masturbate or have sex or anything. You build more sexual tension to you, law of attraction to you. It's true. But it's not true as in, like, it seems more mysterious and mystical, but it's not. It's just like you have more energy, kind of, and it radiates to different people, and it draws them in more. Also, your energy is going up. Definitely. It definitely goes up. It's true. I know it's true. Most guys, after they have sex, and I know this from experience, they get tired. I don't know if women get tired after sex. They might, but I can't really tell you that, and I've never really asked them, but guys definitely do, and I definitely have. I'm not saying I get tired every time after sex, but for the most part, we know this. I've also done some other things where I was really low on energy and I didn't want to have sex, and I was like, wow, I didn't want to release that energy, if that makes sense to you. So, I'm not telling you not to have sex. I'm not, if your life is destined to have a bunch of sex, have as much sex as you want, you know what I mean? Like a porn star, hooker, stripper, whatever it is. Have as much sex as you want. There's not a limit. It's just more so like, if you stop thinking about sex, if you actually get control of yourself, like a man-to-man talk, even though a woman might be listening to this, because this would be the same thing, me just being honest with you, you'll think about other things. You'll have a different destiny. If your destiny is just to have sex and have kids, or have a bunch of sex and whatever, have no kids, that's fine. But if you want to, there's more to life than just sex. Sex is everything, but it's also nothing at the same time. There's just a bunch of other things and a bunch of other horizons. A lot of people, whether we're exploited or something like that, when it comes to, Disney or weird things that go on with sex, which I don't really want to say I was exploited with sex, but I could see in ways we are exploited, in ways you want to think, such as like reverse psychology, people wearing more clothes and more often. That way we want to see more nakedness more often, because usually when tribes and cultures, they usually were pretty much butt naked all the time, and they saw naked people and it didn't turn them on. That's not saying they didn't get horny or didn't have sex. There was no rapists back then, you know what I mean, in tribes and stuff. Not saying there wasn't though, but I'm just saying most likely everything was cool and calm, collective. Like, people, it's nothing wrong with having that Inuit or innate nature in you. That's fine. But there's things beyond that. And real intelligent girls like to connect with intelligent people, not freaking idiots. But they usually pick the idiots. It's things like that. But anyway, when you do semen retention, you do build energy. Creativity too. It's very true. And it's not something you have to like stick to like a moral code. You could just see it. just practice it for a week. Such as, you know, maybe some, if you, like I said, if you want to have sex all you want. But if you're doing things like masturbation or, you know, just wasting your nut, maybe someone who's not really worth it. Like, same thing with girls. Then why waste it? It's a little energy. Now, when you're young, obviously, and I'm pretty young too, but I'm just telling you from a futuristic perspective. I mean, you can do whatever you want, but it will build energy. It's just simple as that. End of the day, when you're a kid, and if you look at kids, they're never really doing sexual things per se. They're not having sex, basically. Obviously, they didn't hit puberty or things like that. But they're also live their best lives when they're kids, and they're happy all the time. And as an adult, you still pretty much are. And they never really had sex and kiss each other, and they might have played around and stuff, but not like actual sex. But, so, I'm just saying, really look at how kids are happy all the time, basically. A healthy kid is supposed to be happy all the time. That's true nature. And when I mean true nature, is a kid, we're meant to be happy. And the kid, basically, if you just look at a kid, they're just happy, and they're not having sex, and they don't necessarily need to drink alcohol or smoke or anything. Not saying that there's nothing wrong with any of that stuff either. I'm just saying, let's not take that stuff for granted, and let's really commit to someone or something else, and just really know we're getting involved and question it, why we're really doing it. But also, don't let it get over your head too much either. Don't think too much about it. So, I pretty much, that's why I practice it. You know what I mean? Like I said, I don't know how long I'm going to be doing it. But, oh yeah, I forgot, I want to say one more thing. If you do, I've heard, well, I know another thing. Someone said, basically, if you don't have sex or anything for 2 months, you'll become, like, super happy for 2 months. If you don't bust any nuts, or if you don't come at all, same thing with girls. It'd be the same thing, I would imagine. If you do it for 2 months, someone said you become happy. That's another thing. You become more creative, more emotionally stable, and more happy. It's definitely true. Definitely true. It's not the end of the world, though, if you maybe masturbate or you have sex or you're trying to practice this and something happens. That's fine. Just don't let it control your life, and don't let lust be the ultimate control over you, because love is more than lust. You actually want to get to love. And love's all around. So that's basically it for my video on this. Yeah. So have a nice one. Subscribe to the channel.